Fresh grief doesn't need to be fixed, it needs room to breathe. There's a moment, often right after the casseroles stop coming, when people start reaching for words they hope will help. Platitudes arrive dressed as comfort. God needed another angel. You're young, you can have more children. You're young, you can find someone else. Well, these phrases may be well intended, but in fresh grief, they land like stones. They ask you to move on before your nervous system is even caught up with what happened. There's a time to look forward to brighter days, but this is not that time. This is a time that just sucks. And it's allowed to suck. Saying that out loud can be strangely grounding because it tells the truth. Fresh grief is not a season for silver linings or forced meaning. It's white knuckle time. You're hanging on minute by minute, breath by breath. You might not get dressed for days. You might not get out of bed. You might forget to shower or not care if you do. Your appetite might disappear, or food might become the only thing that cuts through the fog. Sleep may abandon you or swallow entire afternoons. You might feel numb, scared by the absence of feeling, or you might feel everything: anger, panic, resentment, even a confusing sense of relief that brings guilt along with it. Here's what needs to be said clearly without softening the edges: all of this is normal. Guilt is normal. Anger is normal. Fear is normal. None of these means you loved less. None of these means you're grieving wrong. Grief isn't a checklist to check off or a staircase to climb. It's more like being dropped into the deep water and learning, slowly, awkwardly, how to float without drowning. And inevitably, the question comes: how long is this supposed to last? The honest answer is both comforting and frustrating. There is no set time for fresh grief. For some people, the rawness eases around 3 months. For others, 6 months, a year, 2 years, longer. Fresh grief is not defined by a calendar, it's defined by how present the pain is still in your body. When your nervous system is in shock, when your mind keeps circling back around to, this can't be real, when ordinary tasks feel monumental, when the world looks the same but you don't, that's fresh grief. Now, that's why comparisons are so unhelpful. Someone else's timeline tells you nothing about your own. There's no normal to measure yourself against, only your experience unfolding at your pace. Think of fresh grief less like a deadline and more like a season. Seasons don't change on a date, they shift gradually. One day, you may notice the air feels different. The light lasts a little longer. The pain is still there, but it's no longer taking your breath every minute. And that doesn't mean the grief is gone, it means it's changing form. In this early stage, the most compassionate instruction is remarkably simple: stay. Stay with your body. Stay with the truth of how this moment actually feels. Stay alive. That's the work. And yes, this is also a time for hope, but not the shiny, confident kind, not the everything happens for a reason kind. Fresh grief asks for a quieter hope, one that can survive the dark. There's a line from the Gospels that captures this honesty perfectly. A desperate father asks Jesus for help, and Jesus says, I can help you if you believe. The man replies, Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. Not certainty, but willingness. Not confidence, but openness. If you cannot imagine ever feeling better, that's okay. If you cannot access hope right now, that's okay too. Just have hope that you might someday find hope. That's enough for today. Now, you're not weak for struggling. You're not broken because this hurts. You're responding exactly as a human heart responds when something precious has been torn away. Fresh grief lasts as long as it lasts. And one day, without forcing it, hope may show up quietly. Not as joy, not as certainty, just as a soft inner whisper. Maybe this won't always feel like this. Until then, hang on, breathe, Let others hold hope for you when you can't. This season is brutal, but it's not the end of your story. Even now, especially now, you are still here, and that matters more than you know. Grief doesn't follow stages, timelines, or rules. And if you've ever wondered, am I doing this right? You're not alone. That's why I created the Grief Check In. It's not a test, there are no right or wrong answers. It's simply a gentle way to understand how grief may be showing up for you right now. In just a few minutes, you'll gain clarity and language for what you're experiencing without judgment, labels, or pressure to move on. If you're wondering where you are in grief, this is a safe place to look. Go to grieftogrowth.com/check-in. That's grief, numeral 2, growth.com/check-in.